Good evening. Thanks for being patient. Welcome to our first lecture of the academic year. My name is Carl Dobman, and I'm the Dean of the College of Architecture and Design. This is a wonderful time of the year. We're all back from our summer travels, summer internships, and summer research projects. We're all well rested, we're supposed to be, and returning to campus with an energy and passion to get back into our schoolwork. It's exciting to be kicking off our lecture series with the Distinguished Architecture Alumni Award tonight. The lecture reinforces our connection to our alumni and our connection to professional practice. We're a college of design, which includes an amazing range of design disciplines, from small objects to experiences, to systems, to scales of the city. Can I ask if we have alumni in the room, if they could raise their hands? We're all over here. And a couple. So welcome to our alumni this evening. It's great to have you present with us this evening. I hope you can feel the vibrancy present within the college. Alumni are incredible and important in keeping us connected to practice. Alumni are also incredibly important in supporting some of our strategic initiatives that makes this such a wonderful place. I'd like to mention a few of these while we have the ear of some of our alumni that are here. You came from the reception, which is in our gallery space, where we've got a new exhibit that just went up on the sculptor Jim Miller Melberg. We bring all types of work, different types of work, to campus as a way to stimulate our discussions. Adjacent to where the reception was, the North Wing, or at least what we're calling the North Wing now, was originally the university library, designed by Earl Pellerin, the first dean of the college. We renovated this portion of the building this summer. It's been such an amazing process to spend time in that space and see the light and see the seasons change under that amazing folded plate roof. The renovation allowed us to move the transportation design and industrial design students back into the college building, and this move intensifies the mixing of different design disciplines. If you walk through the studios on the third floor, you'll see new desks that provide more storage and more workspace for our students. This also further intensifies the studio culture. Up on the third and fourth floors, you'll find interior studios alongside architecture studios. You'll find graphic design studios next to foundation studios. It's in this cross-contamination of these different design disciplines in the college that makes this a truly unique school. You can see the lecture poster behind me. The printed posters will be available soon. I did want to mention a couple of lectures that are coming soon. On September 21st, there'll be a panel discussion on making, inspired by the work that's up in the gallery now by Jim Miller Melberg. On September 26th, the College of Architecture and Design is hosting the Presidential Symposium. This highlights our belief in the important role of design as it relates to broader issues in the university and broader societal issues. Lillian Crum will be moderating, and we have a panel of experts seeking to do good through design and the use of technology. I hope to see everybody there. There's the poster for that. At this point, I'd like to invite Jim Stevens, Chair of Architecture, and Steve Ross, Chair of Art and Design, to present the Fine Grain Awards.
Well, Carl, you stole my line, asking if there were alumni in the room. I got to go first. And I wanted to follow that up with, we as department chair, I'm Stephen Ross, department chair of art and design. And Jim Stevens, department chair of architecture. And we're here at least once a month addressing prospective students and their parents. And I tend to ask people to raise their hands if they're alum. And we get one or two. It's very thrilling to see that our alum are supporting, or have confidence in our programs over the years. So thank you all for supporting this lecture. Do I have to use this? Here, then you do it. Okay, so so we're tasked tonight to celebrate the achievements of our undergrad students. At the end of each semester, we have well, I should read what I'm supposed to say. The Fine Grain Award recognizes exceptional work from each studio class section, and this is for college-wide. Students are first nominated by their instructors, and their work is then displayed, and finally, faculty evaluate the work and vote to determine the awardees. And so, okay, so to make this, expedite the situation, I'm going to read the names, and some of you are in the audience. I'd like you to stand as I read your names. And just fair warning, I will get your names pronounced wrong.
That's why I'm making him.
Okay, so it goes Dragan Akimovic. Dan, okay, we'll hold the applause to the end so we can all feel good about it. Dan Adamovich, Dan Adamich. Sarah Britton, that one I got. Oh, she's here. Joe Caputo Lila. Joe, stand up. Alan Coy, Nicole Dillon, Jacob Doyle, Jacqueline Dugan, who is getting awards for 2 courses, Evelyn Eggetts, whose father is an alum, right? So that's good. Who I had as a student when he first got here, so that's another story. Delilah, Elmacadden, no. Amanda Espinoza, Zara Farden. Zara's here, I know. There she is, back there. Bailey Fersenz Ward. Bailey. Kara Folkert. Carly Gillis. She's also getting an award for 2 courses. Gergana Gochiva, yes, back there. Stephen Gonzalez. Megan Gunderson. All right. Michael Hansen. Ashraf Ahmed Hajazi. Andrea Vasali.
She's at Harvard, so she's not.
Yeah, so that doesn't work. Christian Herbie. Edward Hunerberg. Kendra Hutcherson. Hello. She here? Oh. Great. Great. Chris Jewett. Malak Kaysen. And there's another one that's Mai Abdel. It's blued out, so I can't see it. Halij, yeah. Okay. Leah Kleistra. Haley Lee. Rena Maki. Madeline Marginal. Dylan Masco. Timothy Miller. Drew Mittig. Van Guyan Ho. Sam Olson. He's in class. Harry Panargias. It's Greek. Did I get that right? Okay. Nicholas Picnic. Sure you don't want to take over? Tyler Reynolds. Kevin Pietrowski. All right. Danielle Rosny. Andrea Salome. Dancer. Yes. Really, it's the whole college. Gabriel Schroeder. Brendan Sika. Marilyn Cito. All right. Ayat Sleeman. Okay. Derek Subject, also for this time for 3 courses. Are you here, Derek? I'm taking that award. Yeah, probably. Ethan Schwart. Arban Tafila. Jonathan Toonstra. That's all right. Christopher Westerlin. Hey. Matthew Weimiller. And Megan Zablocki. Yay. So everybody, congratulations on behalf of the college. That's harder than lecturing for 3 hours.
Thank you, Jim and Steve. So we're going to move on to the lecture soon. Before we do that, I'm going to do one more introduction, and the introduction is for Nicole Giroux. Nicole is the chair of the Architecture and Design Chapter of Alumni Association of Lawrence Technological University. And then Nicole is going to introduce you.
Thank you.
Nicole graduated from LTU with her bachelor's in architecture in 2013 and her MArch in 2015. She also received 2 certificates from LTU, one in technical and professional communications, and a second in building information modeling. She's held a number of leadership positions, including president of the student government, of which we've had a number of our students from the college in that post, and AIAS Midwest Quadrant Director. Nicole works at Hamilton Anderson Associates in downtown Detroit as an architectural designer. Beyond her professional career, Nicole has a love for dance and was a founding member of the LTU dance team. Nicole strives to empower the leaders of tomorrow with information handed down to her from her grandfather when he said, "It's not the problem, it's how you handle it."
So before I introduced who we're giving this award to, we're going to hand it over to him and congratulate him on his high esteemed award.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Nicole and Dean, I wanted to just explain to everybody who is here that my name is Gus Pappas. I'm on the Alumni Achievement Awards Selection Committee. At this point, we have like close to 100 potential alumni that we review every year to receive this award. There are 3 major criterias that the the person that receives this award must fulfill. The first item is his commitment to the university, obviously, and the School of Architecture. The second is what he has achieved throughout his entire career. And the third one is what he has given to the overall community of this metropolitan Detroit area. John, I'm incredibly excited to have you receive this award. I'm a little biased because he's my classmate as well. So really what happens is, you know, even though we're in competition with one another, it's incredibly exciting to see that somebody that we went to school together, and we're not going to tell you how many years ago because it was a long time ago, okay? But we're very excited to have you. So congratulations one more time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Come on, John.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Very good. All right, here we go. Thank you.
So thank you, Carl. Thank you, Gus, or Constantine. And thank you again. As Carl mentioned, I'm this year's chair for the CoAD Alumni Cabinet, and actually the Architecture College is the only college at LTU to have their own alumni chapter. Our cabinet is made up of 9 CoAD alumni volunteers, and who each serve 3-year terms. It is our goal as a cabinet to provide initiatives which support the ongoing development and success of our alumni so that they may continue to gain value and support from LTU after graduation. The Distinguished Alumni Award is one of our 2 annual award initiatives each year that we believe supports these goals, and it is both my pleasure and the Cabinet's pleasure to recognize John Vitale for this year's award recipient. John Vitale is the president of Stuckey Vitale Architects, a design-oriented architectural practice that includes a wide spectrum of experience in architectural master planning and interior design services. In 1986, John's entrepreneurial spirit led him to form a partnership with George Stuckey Associates. The company was renamed Stuckey Vitale Architects, and John became the firm's president in 1997. The firm's work includes numerous healthcare projects for various Michigan hospitals, including Beaumont Health, Detroit Medical Center, Henry Ford Health Systems, and the University of Michigan Health System. Another SVA project includes the expansion of a mid-rise housing development on Detroit's riverfront at Harbortown. Another notable project includes 1001 Woodward Parking and Retail, Asset Acceptance Capital Corporation, Borders Brooks Headquarters, Haven Women's Shelter, Marriott Hotel in Wisconsin, and Wayne County Community College District, Mary Ellen Stempfile, I don't know if I said that right, University Center. John's previous experience including working at Giffords Associates for over 8 years. As a project leader, he was engaged in major industrial and commercial projects throughout North America, Europe, and Middle East, including IBM's Silicon Crystal growing facility, Fermi 2 nuclear stimulator, and various projects for Caterpillar, Kodak, Toyota, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. During his career, he has participated in various AIA activities and served on the AIA Michigan Government Affairs Committee and the Architects, Engineers, Surveyors Legislative Committee, and in addition, he serves as the chairman for the AIA National Knowledge Community for Contract Administration. In 2015, Governor Schneider appointed him to the State of Michigan Elevator Safety Board, where he continues to serve as a board member. Over the past 25 years, John has served as a member of the City of Grosse Pointe Woods Planning Commission, which he has chaired numerous times. He is also a part of the Grosse Pointe Woods Planning Commission representative for the Mack Avenue Business Committee. In addition, he is a member of the Grosse Pointe Woods Construction Board of Appeals for over 20 years. Currently, he serves on the board of directors for Lockmore Country Club. John has earned 2 degrees at Lawrence Technological University, Bachelor of Science in Architecture in 1976 and a Bachelor of Architecture in 1980. It is with further ado, my pleasure and the Cabinet's pleasure to introduce you to John Vitale.
Thank you very much. A pleasure being here this evening, and thank you all for being here as well. I have a couple of housekeeping slides I have to show you, as this is a AIA approved continuing education session. So there's a couple of slides I will try to show you. Not working. Is that working, John? Sorry. All right, so this is the first slide I'm obliged to show you, and learning objectives also. And then I guess I'd like to maybe just talk a little bit about myself. Again, thank everyone for attending tonight, especially friends and family members for their support. Thank you also to LTU for this outstanding opportunity and the past distinguished alumni recipients for bestowing this honor on me. In addition, I'd like to recognize Carl Dodman, Dean of the College of Architecture and Design, for his work at LTU and allowing me to make this presentation, as well as sharing my experience with future architects. I've been very fortunate to attain my education and architectural degree at Lawrence Tech with the insightful knowledge, experience, and leadership of renowned professors and mentors. As architects, we have the opportunity to take abstract concepts and develop those concepts into real-world bricks and mortar. I can speak from my own experience that my chosen profession of architecture is extremely rewarding and has contributed to helping improve the world we live in. A little bit about my background. To provide some information related to my personal background, my father was a cabinet maker. At an early age, my exposure to creating and building had a direct impact on my strong interest in design. Truthfully, I always enjoyed drawing all aspects of art. In my first year of college, I actually explored fine art and design at Wayne State University. However, I decided that architecture would be a more fulfilling and rewarding career, which led me to pursue my study of architecture at Lawrence Tech University. After graduating, I worked for 8 years at Giffords Associates. As a project manager, I had the opportunity to work on numerous commercial, industrial projects in North America, Europe, and the Middle East. My aspiration to lead a private practice led me to establishing a partnership with the late George Stuckey. In 1966, George founded the original firm with Jim Hackenberger, Bill Honor, and himself, which was located on East Grand Boulevard in Detroit. In 1986, I joined the firm, George Stuckey Associates, which transitioned later into Stuckey Vitale Architects, or SVA. George Stuckey Associates was a small firm with 4 full-time employees at that time. The firm's major clients included Honey Baked Ham, the Cadillac Tower, the Book Building, and airlines parking. I joined the firm bringing a new spirit of growth, design, and client service. I learned early that the profession is very focused on establishing effective client relationships and quality service. These elements are the key factors in our firm's continued success. In 1997, I became the president of SVA and continue in that role today. Our firm's growth has been steady and consistent. Currently, we have about 20 employees in our Royal Oak location. In the 70s and 80s, our architectural firm developed designs on onion skin prior to the digital era. The ability to sketch and quickly formulate ideas on paper is a valuable skill that all future architects should continue to develop. These early schematic hand-drawn sketches provided a basis for presenting ideas to clients. Often, physical scale models were also built to convey design concepts. In many cases, a developed design included a 3-dimensional rendering, which were typically watercolor or marker renderings and created by hand, which I know we're still using those today. Further, construction documents were prepared on Mylar with plastic lead. Some of the early projects, I'll show you. For example, this was a project that was developed around the airport. One of our earlier clients I mentioned was Airlines Parking. A gentleman by the name of Wendell Flynn. He actually brought off-site parking to the airport. He was one of the first gentlemen to bring that idea to Michigan. And so he was very entrepreneurial, and we were attached to him in a lot of ways. And so Early on, George Stuckey worked very closely with him on developing a lot of the land that he bought around Metro Airport, which was farmland at the time. And he had a lot of ideas about proposing a lot of different projects. So this is an example of an early design, probably almost 45 years ago, and models were built, and this is kind of an example of some of these early style models, and these are photographs of the models themselves. And they kind of were a good way of presenting to a client, you know, what that project or potential project would look like. So they're very detailed models, and we also worked on, and you probably recognize this at Airlines Parking. This is a major source of a lot of his income, parking cars at the airport. Another early project that the firm was involved in, this again was before my time even at the firm. We were one of the 4 finalists for the Silverdome project, which was proposed back in the early 70s. So these are some early renderings of the proposal that our firm put together for this project. So this particular scheme was very well liked. However, and again, these are models and renderings. These were not, this particular design was not selected because it was too expensive. So at that time, they went with the least expensive design, which is what the Silverdome is today, which will probably be, you know, torn down soon. Early days, that's how long ago that was, so it gives you an idea. But the firm was engaged in doing a lot of parking decks in downtown Detroit. We've actually won some awards for some of the early parking decks. SVA had many established long-term clients. It was actually very challenging to me to successfully transition these relationships that George Stuckey had. And so I had to overcome that challenge through continued client interaction and exemplary service. All client interactions were our priority, which contributed to strengthening our relationships. Significant examples were Cadillac Tower and the book building. And this is actually an early rendering of the book building. One of the projects we did there was the connector bridge between the book building and the adjoining parking structure that's there today. Another example was Honey Bay Tam Company, which at that time was experiencing substantial growth. So due to our commitment, we were able to accommodate the increased growth and development of that company. Some of the work included designing hundreds of stores, 3 major headquarters, and processing facilities. We built trust with our clients and added value with our reliability, attention to detail, and delivery of the highest quality of work. The Cadillac Tower is still downtown today. It was actually owned by a different entity today, but we were involved in really rehabilitating major parts of that building throughout the years. We probably were the building architect for over 25 years. These are just some examples of some of the projects back then that we worked on in that building. Again, these are the early years of Stuckey and Vitale Architects, or at that time was George Stuckey Associates. This is the Honey Bay Tam Company. And this is one of the projects that we did there. One of the headquarters was in Cincinnati, Ohio. And these are some renderings of some of the stores and store work that we've done for them. We consider SVA a general architecture practice, including multifamily, office, retail, industrial, and healthcare projects. An example of our strategic marketing effort has been to target the healthcare industry. In fact, currently about 50% of the firm's projects are healthcare related. At SVA, we primarily work in a team studio format. Generally, our project managers and team members are assigned projects based on project type. Each team develops a particular project through the traditional methods, including schematic design, design development, and construction documents. Essentially, our firm has been successful primarily due to our client service and commitment, and bringing a point of view with a creative design solution. Listen to the client. I can't stress that enough. This element is essential for effective and efficient communication. We teach our team to listen to the client. It's imperative to develop an intuitive sense of not just what the client is actually saying, but rather interpreting what the client is trying to convey. Often, clients are limited of their understanding of the vernacular of architectural profession. As an architect, it's our duty to break down our ideas to effectively communicate with the client. That previous slide was the 1001 parking garage and retail center. It's attached to the 1001 building, which is located on Woodward in downtown Detroit. Another early project the firm did was the Borders Books headquarters. This is located in Ann Arbor. And this particular project initiated with an idea of a small 8.5 by 11 sketch. So we were challenged by the facility people to add some people to a building that they had in an industrial park. So at that particular time, Borders was spread out throughout Ann Arbor, and they actually were located in a number of different buildings in the downtown Ann Arbor area. So the facility people who we had a relationship with said, well, we're trying to move some people to this building. We went and visited the building, and we said, well, this building is an industrial building. It has no windows. It was used as a lab. It doesn't make sense to move these people into this building. So I said, well, give us a half-hour meeting with the president. No, we just want to move these people in this building. And we said, please, just let us talk to the president of the company and see if we can do something with this. Well, about 2 weeks later, we got a call. I said, I got you a half-hour meeting with that president. So I was able to go and talk to this gentleman, and I said, on a simple sketch, the building was on a curve, and we were able to completely put a whole new facade with windows and create an entirely different space. And this gentleman looked at it within 20 minutes. He said, I love it, fantastic. And we were blessed with a $22 million project at that time. And so this is the actual shot of the building here. This is another more current project that we just recently completed for Henry Ford Hospital. This was a challenging project in that it was a connection between the main hospital in downtown Detroit and the research building adjoining it. And it was separated by a courtyard. So we were able to take this courtyard and build a usable space out of it. So it had a lot of infrastructure issues. So this was a rendering of the early concept of the building. And then you can kind of see the existing space that we were kind of working with. And then some of the construction, the demolition, we removed some parts of the building. And then you can see under construction, we provided some skylight to bring some natural light that was pinched in between these two structures or large structures. And then you kind of can start to see the finished product. We have a living wall on one side of it as well. Another project that we've worked on is, this is the Palladium. The Palladium is in downtown Birmingham. So we were challenged with a renovation of that particular building. The building was housed a number of theaters, movie theaters. So our challenge was to remove these movie theaters and add an interstitial floor into that building. So what we've done is actually added another floor into the building, added an additional story on top of the building for residential penthouses, and then converted the lower level of that building into parking. So on that floor that we built as an office floor, one of the clients that we integrated into that building was Scripps Broadcasting, who I think used to be right across the street from Lawrence Tech here. So they've relocated to this structure, and these are some of the early concept sketches that we worked with in bringing this client into this building. So they were very receptive to some nice ideas. This is an example of some finish ideas, some visioning that we would often do with a client. Some photographs, some different elements, decorative acoustical elements, and this is sort of an example of a presentation board. Break room, again an example of maybe a construction document type drawing. And then you can start to see the construction. This is that new floor that was added. And then as this thing starts to be developed, you start to see the design taking shape. And then you see some of the finished product here. And again, felt it was a very successful project. The client's very happy, and that's worked out really well for us there. I thought this method was going to be pretty easy, but some more shots of that project, finished shots. Another project is asset acceptance. It's about a 200,000 square foot office building in Warren, Michigan. And we built a parking deck to that. This is an interesting project. We were challenged with building a women's shelter. So this building really housed a number of different components. There's housing, there's office component, and there's clinic component. And then again, some sort of multi-purpose space and also gallery space for events. So it had a lot of different components and different building types. And so it was very, very exciting project for us to work on. And again, this building, and some of the old, if you notice that door was really some of the artifacts that were integrated into the design from their existing building that they were moving from. These are some construction photos. And you start to see the finished product. This is Wayne County Community College District. This was converting a building that was an existing Silhouette American health spa. So we were able to take that health spa and really reuse that building, repurpose that building as a college. And we put a small addition on the building and totally repurposed the exterior and interior of the building. You start to see some of the completely different look. So this again, it seemed like it was a very successful space for the university. We're kind of looking at an additional project for them right now. There's a potential for a project on an adjoining site, and these are some early studies of that. So we're taking the property, there's an existing restaurant, we're removing that, and we're proposing some specialty classroom functions that would be adjacent to the existing building connected to. And these are some early studies of that, and they want to make this a sort of a signature piece, a gateway to the campus. Hopefully the campus will continue to grow. And this is a rendering of that proposed project. Another client that we're currently working on is, this is a recent project, First State Bank. First State Bank is a 100-year-old institution here in the state of Michigan. And as you can see, they have sort of a diverse collection of architecture. So one of the things that we've been working with them on is a way of reinforcing their brand. So one of the things that they're married to is their logo. They have a lot of history with their logo, and one option that we've been presenting to them is taking that logo. As you can see, these are some early studies, and integrating the logo as part of their architecture. So these are some studies and renderings of some different facilities that they're considering, and we're presenting some ideas on how to integrate that branding and reinforce that First State look by using their logo. Today, SVA utilizes a multitude of digital tools to present and explore design concepts. We use digital software such as SketchUp to build three-dimensional models, to study massing, as well as explore finishes and materials. The digital revolution has transformed architecture. The ability to build an accurate three-dimensional model and be able to spin it, fly around it, go through it, makes communicating our design ideas more visual and understanding. Modern digital software allows us to send data to a 3D printer, which creates a physical 3D model. Digital software also allows us to create a realistic rendering. However, the client's expectations related to renderings has escalated. Early renderings depicted a design intent with an artist's interpretation of the finished product. And the client would trust the architect based on those design renderings. Today's renderings are actually photorealistic representations of the project, including very minute details in every aspect. In addition, as many of you probably know, Revit software allows construction documents to be prepared digitally in 3D, which has, of course, inherent advantages as compared with previous hand-drawn or 2D AutoCAD. This is a current project that we have on the boards right now, and it's a high-rise mixed-use building in Columbus, Ohio. The developer's goal is to have the most significant building in downtown Columbus. Therefore, we propose making it the tallest structure in the city. Our challenge is to blend three major components, namely hotel, office, and condominiums. This would also, of course, include support items such as parking, retail, and restaurant uses. So this depicts the site and our study of the site. On the site right now is an existing 50,000 square foot building. Digitally we're allowed to now go in, photograph, superimpose our design right on the site itself. So the site has some severe constraints. Since the building's footprint is very small, it's difficult to integrate all the building's program elements into the retail, parking, and hotel functions. So by digitally superimposing the building into the city context, we can study the design of the building as it relates to the surrounding environment. You can see that we can start overlaying a mass and study the building not just in plan but three-dimensionally, and actually digitally include all the surrounding buildings. We start to build a massing model. So as you can see, each color denotes some of the different uses I mentioned. For example, parking, retail, the hotel component, and the condo component. So we start to develop a three-dimensional model, and actually the sketches on the left start to just show a block form of that. And then, as you can see, even hand sketching helps us start to formulate a design. These hand sketches are early sketches of how we would start the design process and laying out, you know, the different uses of the building on each floor. So these are early studies that just become and evolve into a more refined plan. These start to refine the core, and you can see each floor and how it develops. And what the challenge on a building like this is how to integrate all those different uses three-dimensionally. And this is a study at grade, vehicular circulation, along with the human circulation. And then that starts to translate into a three-dimensional model and studying how that circulation works within the building. And again, it's superimposed on the site. And this starts to continue to be refined into an actual building. Again, the three-dimensional software is a very useful tool. You can see the surrounding buildings. So we basically outlined most of the taller structures in the city, and those are our competition, I guess, so to speak. And then that's the final rendering of that building as it is to now, with the skin on it and proposed exterior fenestration and so on. So that's kind of the proposal at this point. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for attending this event. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to our entire SVA team for all their hard work and creativity. The projects that are presented here are truly a collaborative effort of the entire SVA team. It is imperative to note that every individual in our company plays a vital role in the success of our projects and our firm. Over the 50-year history of SVA, our core values of passion, creativity, integrity, and collaboration are the blueprint of our success. I also especially want to thank my wife, Mary Ann, and our three children, Lisa, Nicole, Anthony, and I have to mention my two new son-in-laws, Andrew and John, for all their continued support throughout my career. There is a little video. Whoa. Just a short video. Thank you.
So if anybody has any questions for John, you're welcome to ask them now, or forever hold your peace.
No questions, good. Thank you very much. Thank you for.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. It was? All right, good. Thank you.